They're all loving you, Josh. You're getting all the love. This is good. What's the
The ever-changing weather around the world. Ever-diverse terrain and roads across the world. With Kumho Tire that has conquered all. There is no road you cannot go. Go with Kumho. Kumho Tire.
Hi everyone and welcome to Belle Isle for round 7 of season 14 V8 Vets Championship. Tonight we have 67 laps, the famous street circuit. Good luck to everyone who got on the grid tonight, and we'll see who comes out on top in about 90 minutes time.
big thank you there to Josh Drage and the new split 3 drivers kitchen. I think the boys are calling it because what was the wording there, Reg? The kids are in the lounge room and the adults are in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
We're back. So it's a new look drivers lounge. What we have now is a dedicated commentary team that consists of Reg James, Hazy, Mark Dial, Josh Drage, Pato, myself, and we think Ed Cullens is joining the team. And then we've got two special commentators that'll come and join us when they're available, and that's Dave Baldock and Dave Gunter Worrell. And then we're going to have special guests come and join us each week by arrangement. And the man we got in this week is none other than the man who was busier than a one-armed bricklayer in Baghdad in race control of Split 2 last night, Chris Blanchard. How are we, boys?
Yep, good, thanks,
good,
John.
mate.
Great, thanks, John.
Righto, let's have a quick look at the grid for this one as we jump on and see who we've got. We had Jason Strange on pole from Reg. Jeremy Bush had a great result in P3. Ed Cullen, another great qualifying effort in fourth. Robert Crow in fifth. Simon Farrington in sixth. Jason Dunn in seventh. Scotty Perrins from from Quickie Performance Racing in eighth. Quantum Pecky Performance Racing. I'm lost already. Daniel Sheriff, Rick Hyde, Jeff Sanford, John O'Kiley from Frogleet was in 12th. And then on the next page, we had Laurie Sanders with a great result in 13th, from Braden O'Loughlin in 14th, Joseph Granshaw 15th, Pete Kelleher from Synergy Sim Racing in 16th, the one and only Sir David Baldock 17th, alongside Phil Marsh. So good to see Marshy still out there with more races than Baldock in the V8 series. And then on the next row, we've got Andrew Johnstone, followed by Neil Waters, and then Shane Nichols in 21st, Carl Pickering in 22nd, 23rd with Simon Harworth. Anita Buckland was 24th. And after that, we had Darren Friend from Old Mates and Sons, Dwayne Dywell, Michael Hayes, all the way back in 27th. So we must try and find out what the story is there with Hazy. He's a long way back. Josh Drage in 28th, out qualifying Mark Dial. Got to be a bit worried when race control out qualifies you, Mark. And then
I was.
John Slater, Michael Schroeder obviously jumped on the wrong server, and Lucas Burt mustn't have set a time, along with Jeff Richardson, Shane Patterson, Dave Arney, and we had Blair Van Ree in the safety car last night. So what do you reckon, boys? We just light the wick on this?
Light the wick.
Light
Light
the
the
wick.
wick.
Light the
And
wick.
for those watching in YouTube land, if you've got any questions, comments, anything like that you want us to talk about, chuck a note in there. We're reading it. We'll have a chat.
Absolutely. And let's get going. I don't know too much about this race, so hopefully typical split 3 start and we all get away safely.
It's a great size field, John.
Yeah, it's good to
They have-
see 30-odd cars here. We had a few
They have
away.
been great this whole season.
WKMP out on protest last night, I think. No Worrell, no myself, and no Simon Williamson. So it was 3 cars missing. It's still a
It
massive
was
field,
pretty
which is
quiet
great.
on track.
But great start here from Jason. Reg fighting off the hard-charging Jeremy Bush. Ed Cullen's getting the jump on Farrington still. Dunn, Crow, Hyde, Scotty Perrins into the top 10 still. Reasonable start. Dave Baldock up 2 spots. That's a bit of a scary one for me. It's got some cameras doing some weird stuff on here, so we just jump on gearbox.
Yeah, it was a pretty quiet race early last night. There was a few incidents lurking around, but nothing that was bothering myself or Blair too much.
Oh, I don't think too
Yeah,
much
I was-
bothers Blair.
I was surprised it went so long.
For the first few laps. I don't know if that was just nerves or...
Yeah, I completely buggered up qualifying, rubbed the wall and spun on the second lap. So that's what put me back all the way down there.
Joseph Granshaw's had a spin in the cricket pitch sector. So not a great spot to park there. Very difficult to wait for everyone to go past.
But he's doing the right thing and he is waiting.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
As we jump back up the front.
It's a long wait too when you're watching all the cars drive past.
Yep.
Jason Strange off to a good lap there. Jeremy Bush keeping the pressure on you a little bit there, Reggie.
Yeah, had my mirrors pretty full.
And good little battle rookie hide. Having a good look down here. Into turn 3.
So Hoff says that Hazy has a race plan.
Hazy has a race plan.
Hazy has a race plan, so I'm looking forward to seeing this race plan.
I'm not sure it went to fruition somehow.
I reckon I went to plan.
You have to tell us more, Hoff.
Yeah.
You can't leave us hanging.
Planning to make a plan isn't a plan.
So a few boys here doing relatively well. Let's work our way back down through the field quickly. Darren Friend sitting right behind Mark Dial, who's already got himself up 4 spots. So they seem to be fairly calm, cool and collected here, Mark.
Yeah, I just waited behind him, and after watching that video that was put in the Fetch channel the other day about the vortex of death.
Vortex of danger,
Like
yeah.
that. Danger, yeah.
Yep.
Two
yeah.
wheels there's never good.
No,
Nah.
not a great spot.
Yes, that's
Nicely done.
someone's finally put it into a video, but Richie Barella's had that as a PDF for probably ever since the first season he was in Vets. He always reels it out from time to time and preaches the vortex of danger.
It's a great video. I recommend everyone to watch it,
Yeah.
especially if you're questioning some of the decisions that go against you. Have a look at that and then work out your situation compared to that and see if it was on your
And
end or not.
That's what I was thinking when I was watching it. I was thinking this is
Well,
perfect for weight control and
oddly enough, with the Pro Series regs, which Brenton O'Brien and myself have worked on, and a lot of work and effort's gone into amending those with the drivers in that series, and we've literally gone now to that's it. Oh, Chase. There goes Reggie. There goes Bush. Collins. And gets himself going again. No, we actually have gone and put, and still, into our race control notes, pictures as well,
Yeah, okay.
which kind of highlights the vortex of danger with pictures,
Good idea.
just to make it black and white.
Very good. Sean Slater up a dozen spots, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Moving through the field.
Definitely move through the field.
Big move.
I see with that Jason Strange incident, he got a 0x from all of that. Lucky to get away with that one.
It's a great track. And
not much damage.
No, I was
Yeah.
going to make that comment too. When he drove away from it, I'm looking at the front of the car and I'm for the size of that hit.
Oh, it was Dunny. I just missed that one. Okay.
Must have looked worse than what it was.
On lap 4 already. Yeah, Dunny's in trouble back there.
So Michael Hayes says that Hazy's busy tonight, but he'll be around next week.
So the golden tonsils of commentary's back next week in the box.
There you go.
Hey, Sean
He can
Slater.
sub in for me next Friday. I won't be able to do next Friday. I may not even be there Thursday for race control. So I've just dropped a bit of bomb there.
Wouldn't
Opens
that-
brother,
oh,
yeah.
you
You
think
coming
we-
back to 60 tickets?
I'm going to be coming back to 60 tickets on Friday, Thursday night.
you expect that big of a night on Wednesday, are you?
Nah. Just got some stuff on Thursday night. I don't think I'll be able to get out of.
That's all good, Josh. We appreciate what you do, mate, the time and effort you put into this series.
Absolutely.
So race control is one of those thankless jobs. I was lucky enough
35 plus grown men bitching at you, week
Yep.
in, week out.
Yep. And you get in there, sit there and go, this is what I got to look forward to as I get older.
Can't wait to be on the other side.
Kind of a bit slow there.
Yeah. Well, Dave's under a bit of pressure here.
It'll be interesting to see who race control is in that time when race control is able to drive.
Yeah. That's true.
Sean
Sean
Slater
Slater.
racing tonight.
Slater going for the big move.
Supercar, have late.
That's Slater
He's
up
done.
18 spots now. Hard
Yeah,
charge here
big,
from
big
Sean.
mover.
Of course,
Seems to
Bulldog
have a hook.
getting past is something we haven't seen before. too many times. Or not enough times, sorry.
Not enough.
Dave, Dave was actually letting people buy, and I'm thinking when I get up to him, I wonder if he's going to let me buy because he's got. I know Reg was in the same channel.
Mate, there was no chance he was letting you buy.
He did. He
No
said,
chance.
down here on the I'll give it to you down here." I'm thinking,
Yeah,
I
he was
bet you
talking
Reg
about
is
something
saying, I bet you Reg is in there going, "Don't give him the spot."
He was quite vocal last night, Dave, with the pass down on me right, or he was
Yeah,
very
he
vocal.
was just trying to run his own race, from what I could gather. I was pretty preoccupied, but I was listening to him. But yeah, he was running his own race, and he didn't want to sort of get caught up in something that would end it too soon. So sometimes it's better to sort of give up a spot or two early on and
Early.
try and make it back in strategy, or just outlast the competition. So
That'd be a first. Someone listening to Dave.
always listen to Dave, mate. Oh, sorry, always hear Dave. Maybe
Ah.
don't always listen to Dave.
Well,
If you're listening, Dave, all good, mate. All good.
Yeah.
I say Dave was one of the first blokes to reach out during the week to me, so very much appreciated. And to everybody else as well.
I'm hoping that was a pretty long list, John.
It was a huge list, to be honest.
That's good to hear, mate. Good to hear.
And yeah, from across all splits as well. So it's a very strong community we still have in this place, and it's good to see everything's passed under the bridge, and we're still here going with what I like to think is a reasonable output for the Split 3 boys. And Sean
Certainly
here,
is.
oh no!
Whoa!
Yeah.
Smoke him up!
I tell you what, he's managed to keep that in a better condition than what I thought he
What do
might.
yeah. I don't think the tyres are, though.
No, but you'd rather the tyres than the whole rear end.
No,
He's
exactly.
just got on the gas a little early there.
Exactly.
That's why I think a little bit heavy on the right throttle, a little bit impatient on
I
the
did
right
something
foot.
similar on Tuesday night. Only half turned it though. But yeah, easy enough to do coming out that corner. It's a bit bumpy.
I didn't lose too many spots because he's still sitting in 16th, so
I'm pretty sure that would be the equivalent of the not just me corner tonight.
And I was just about to make the comment watching this how nice some of the lines are and the cars not appearing to be overdriven as well.
this is one of these tracks.
I personally went through stages last night where I overdrove it, and then I had to pull myself back and go, hang on a second, there's still 20 or 30 or 10 laps to go. It was really easy to get caught up in the moment.
I still haven't done my best and fairest for this week yet, so hopefully I can pick out something tonight.
Is Dave handing out tickets as he lets everybody pass there, or?
I know, but Dial's on the move again.
Dale is on a move.
Up into 16.
Let's just go back, have a look how the boys up the back are getting on. Marshy's still battling away. Having a good little battle with Laurie Sanders in front of him. Just carry on a bit. Jeff Richardson's battling away with Darren Friend and Jeff Sanders. Sanford, sorry.
Someone's missing a front clip.
Yeah, it doesn't take much down the back here. You boys are involved in a few things.
There was a few guys that, for whatever reason, had to pit fairly early in the race, so
Ricky Hyde's up
whether they got tangled up or
4 spots and looking a bit racy here. Slow car. Like someone's in the wall down here.
that's a nice looking car. Though. The orange was love it.
Mm. Very retro looking livery.
Yeah, yep.
Does.
But you see it on track.
Mm.
Especially on a circuit like this, where if it's a red car, you're not sure if you're seeing in your rear vision mirror, or you're not sure if you're seeing a sign or a car or whatever. So having something that stands out with a flash of colour here and there, and it's pretty distinctive, makes it a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah, 100% it does.
So let's come through my favourite section of the track, the cricket pitch.
The cricket pitch,
Everyone laughs at me when I call it that.
otherwise known as
No,
I don't know.
Flint's not far enough back, so I'm not going to get seed on that one. There is actually a cricket pitch, concrete synthetic cricket pitch in the middle of that sector.
Is there?
Yep. There's actually two cricket pitches on Belle Isle.
I just thought it was something you made up, John. I take that all back now, mate.
Yeah.
That's my fun fact of the night.
That's the section of the track I don't particularly like.
There's so many different ways to take that section of track. You know, I've been on board with plenty of people seeing how they take it, and you know, some are taking it in a high gear and holding on. Others drop back a gear halfway through, and yeah. It's one of those sections of track where you know you can make up a little bit of time if you can find the one that suits you best.
I think the last time we were here, that was where I was getting eaten up by
What's Dave done?
cricket drivers.
Dave,
Oh, Dave.
I see reverse parking at a car park.
He's just at
That's
Coles.
casual.
Oh, Sean Slater's in there as well.
Dave might have yelled out free beer or something at that point. Sean's gone, I'll have some of that.
Called in for a coffee.
Saw the
Bay
bait
21.
one.
Bay 21 coffee.
Saw the bait 21 and thought I'm going to stop for a Java fix.
Shame we don't have a KFC here like at Le Mans.
My mom.
I'm pretty sure John O'Gallon last season said bucket a few times. So Braden doing quite well. He's up 4 spots. Little drive from him. Got teammate John O'Kiley in front of him.
Yeah, when those two get together, they pull each other along.
Mm.
They really make some ground. It's good pairing, that.
Then the guy catching behind. It's Pete Kelleher with Jason Dunn behind him. It's another fun fact. Pete Kelleher is Jordan Ross, the boss of SSR's brother-in-law. So poor old Pete is under a lot of pressure to perform in split 3 vets, apparently.
Yeah.
Of course, Jordan, a regular in the management team of the Pro Series and at East Coast.
Tune in a little later for a crash with Peter Kelleher, which was probably one of my favourites of the week.
See how we go on that one. Dunny looking very racy again here. I have fixed up the gyro a little bit, not much. Still can't work out how to stencil out that Ford logo.
I was about to say you're in a Ford. That's the problem.
Hello, Mark.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that Ford logo.
I must admit the new Mustangs do look pretty damn good.
Mm.
Hopefully they don't have that big Ford logo on it. I know my car doesn't have a big Ford logo or not like that, so...
The interesting how it looks on a Red Bull Formula 1 car.
Yeah.
The Ford logo?
Mm.
A lot of talk about that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it already on the driver's suit?
I haven't seen the driver's seat, to be honest, so probably wouldn't surprise me.
Pretty sure I saw it on a pic of Danny Rick in the driver's suit. It might have.
Yeah, I reckon you're right, actually.
It might have just been for when they announced it, but yeah, I'm sure I've seen a pic with him and it's got the Ford logo up there because he's actually pointing to it.
Of course he is. That's our mate Lucas Bird. How's he getting on? He's having a little tussle here as well. Holding off Simon Harworth.
But saying that too, the
Fucking
Cosworth,
well.
the Cosworth engine is a pretty good engine.
Yeah, but Cosworth isn't
Nothing to
involved. No,
No?
no, Cosworth is not involved at all. This is actually Ford. itself. And from what I was reading about, it's to do with, obviously with the progress of hybrid engine systems. So,
God, here we go. It's on its way, isn't it? It's really on its way.
Why? I've seen some pictures in the States of the new electric Mustangs.
Oh, Lucas. What's
Yeah,
happened there?
so
And
high.
I have no interest in trading mine in for one of
And-
those just yet.
They are ugly as.
crunch.
possibly
Oof.
be.
Oh,
Just done well to get that done in front of
Yeah,
everybody.
it did work quite nicely.
he moved out of the way well, didn't he?
Mm.
Good awareness of what was happening on the track.
Nice. We'll just jump back up. Front here. Jeremy under a bit of pressure from Ed still. Well, still a long way to go.
that's all right for those of us that still work on oil burners. We know they're not going anywhere for a while.
Peter says on the chat it's Ford Performance that is doing it in F1.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. That'd be the name there. And Hoff saying that there's a
And
WKP
Hoff's-
Mustang for sale.
They all raced once.
No third, fourth, fifth gear.
I'll buy it off you, Hoffy. I'm going to a Ford soon.
Is that what you're trying to tell me, Hoff, is you've used up your car allocation for this season? Still chugging along here, looking quite good. Of course, at this stage, Reg, you're nicely about a second and a half, so nearly 2 seconds ahead of Jason. So
Yeah, but look, in all honesty, you're really not thinking that much about it. You're glancing down and you're just making sure you're not bleeding time anywhere. But you really, well, I wasn't paying that much attention to the exact bits and pieces. I was just too busy telling myself brake, gear, accelerate. It's one of those tracks where you don't get a lot of rest.
No.
And that's what you got to be careful of. Such a long race last night that brain fade was going to occur at some point where you start to drift off.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah, something tells me that happened quite a few times in Split 2, Chris.
Yeah, well, that
was
might
right
be
off
the
the grid,
excuse.
wasn't it?
Yeah, that might be the excuse for some. Ah, dear.
Hoff
Busy
says
night.
sold.
Put it this way.
Probably said it to me. He's probably selling me this car.
Well, it's had the new livery on it too. That was a disappointing thing about it.
He did.
Mm.
Maybe that's why I need to take it.
That was interesting coming down that straight on a few occasions last night. You had the slower car on one side and you had somebody coming out the pits on the other side.
Mm.
Full credit to everybody that was doing it. They were all really aware of what was going on around them coming down that straight, and everybody tried to make it as easy as possible for everyone else. It was awesome.
Jeremy's just had a little bit of an off there on turn 3. John O'Kiley battling away here as well.
And the drift just didn't work.
No. There you go.
Another one of those. I don't want to be there. Don't want to be there.
No, they got it going nicely though.
Nice gap in the field there.
Mm.
Yeah, no secondary collisions, which is good.
The other
There've
guy.
been a few questionable moments for the guys that come around the corner and saw that happening though.
Mm.
Hearts in mouth.
Heart and mouth for sure.
Let's just jump back and see Daniel Sheriff after qualifying quite well. He's having a bit of a rough night by the looks.
Look at that, matching cars with no bonnets.
Yeah, it's a new RF package they're running.
Okay.
One of them's going in for a new one. It's Daniel. Mark Dial, a hard charger at the moment, up 17 spots into 12th. Got past
Look out.
Bulldog.
It's amazing what happens when you throw those cement bags at the back, isn't it, Mark?
It is. Although I should have left them in because like the last 10 laps or so it was really getting hairy.
But it was a pretty good set though, yeah?
No. I hated it on the last 10 laps. I hated the car.
Wouldn't have to
And
take it as a Ford.
Luckily, I was in the channel on my own because no one could hear me swearing and cursing at Jamie McKnight.
It'd almost be like a sixth sense now. He'd know when you're going off at him.
I reckon.
He feels the tingles on track.
Nice little sensations.
You probably enjoy it though.
I was going to say, are you sure that's all he's feeling?
Oh, Ricky Hyde's back in the battle here. Got back up the Faz again.
Think about Jamie's. No, you go, John.
I was going to say, Scotty's tucked in behind these boys as well, so.
Nice and consistent so far, up one.
Yep.
I was going to say, the thing about Jamie's setups is he keeps improving us. Every time we come back to a track, we improve.
Say what you like, that is true.
Well, with the 60 litres of tank, 60 litres in the practice laps, I was improving greatly. But when someone decided that it was 80, I wasn't improving. Not sure who did that.
No, I don't know either.
But anyway.
Peter saying Scotty had a great race last night.
Yeah, I was just reading that.
Certainly looking for the goods.
And what he's doing there is, exactly the right thing. He's just sitting at the back of the train and just biding his time.
A long way to go.
Opportunity will come up at some point. He's got to take it.
Of course, 16 laps, so you're still sitting there going, the safety car's going to come at some stage. Don't have to cook tyres, don't have to cook the car, save some fuel. Okay. Hoping that the fuel I've saved might get me a couple of spots in the pits a bit later.
And at this point, 16 laps in, we've still got plenty of fuel.
Yeah.
It's not like you're starting to really think, unless you've got a set strategy in mind, you're not sort of starting to think you're going to have to pit. So you could just sit back there and just bide your time.
Look after the tyres.
Okay.
Yes, if you conserved your tyres, it definitely opened up some possibilities for you.
Because it's so bouncy, you scrub them. The harder and harder you push, the worse they responded. It's almost like you just had to just lift off just a little bit in spots to try and keep it all in check.
And Braden O'Loughlin already into the pits.
Lap 17 was the magic number on most people's run. We find a few possibly pitting this lap.
Yeah, so that's obviously a strategy thing, yeah?
Yeah.
They've obviously gone 17's a good one.
Yeah.
I think, I actually don't remember the exact times I pitted last night, but I knew I was going to run pretty well as long as I possibly could into the 20s, so. Unless, of course, we get a safety car. Changes everything. That initial.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here because by now in split 2 we're up to our 4th safety car.
Wow.
Once again, it's just a masterclass handed out by the split 3 boys and girls.
Comes in waves. Next week you won't get much and I'll get it all.
You won't be here next week.
You won't be here next week. Try for your life, everyone. Just post a ticket after. I'll get to it.
It'll be the substitute teacher next week, so we'll all play up.
You forgot it's Winton next week. The only difference is we don't have walls up the side of the track.
That's
Yeah,
true.
plenty of runoff. So split 2 had 5 safety cars in the first 25 laps apparently.
That is, jeez. I'll go back and look at my notes. It probably is right.
That's crazy. That's half the race distance on the safety car.
Yeah.
In the end, I had to start making some decisions. We had one driver call in and said, "Look, I've crashed. He'd done the right thing. He hadn't escaped, he asked, he notified us. He said, look, he said if I go, he said I'm going to leave the server. And by this stage, it was only just after the last safety car, the fifth safety car, and I said, no, you're fine, go, because I was realising the boys were just not getting a chance to race.
Yeah.
You
There's no pit strategy in that either. In 5
No.
safety cars,
No,
25
it makes
laps.
it worse. You're just trying to gain those quick positions in the first few laps after the safety car, in fear of another one, so that you've got track position. So it's that old adage: safety cars breed safety cars.
Especially around this place.
Steven said there's no more for the rest of the race. I think ours are very easily split.
Yeah, it was a case of we had some people leave the server without requesting, and that's another issue. That's another issue in itself. You know, that created a little bit of talk post race. But yeah, thankfully also the numbers thinned out a little bit, and yeah, we were able to get on without bringing in any more safety cars in.
Feeling that there'll be an announcement this week about that, leaving the session or towing without permission.
Well, it's already a DQ, isn't it?
Yes.
It's already a DQ, but it's what
But
follows on
if
from
you're
that.
going to leave the session and quit, rage quit, or whatever you want to call it nowadays, then you don't really care if you get DQ'd, do you?
And it comes down to the fact if you've just been involved in an incident, and you know it might not be just you that's involved. You know, and this is where the problems come in. You're involved in an incident. There's 1, 2, multiple cars involved. You decide to rage quit, for want of a better term, and so there's no consequences for you because you disqualified anyway. So yeah, that's where there's a little bit of discussion about it. There was a little bit of discussion about that post race, and yeah, as Josh said, there'll be a little bit of discussion this week as well.
So, here's a question for you. If you get DQ'd through the race, obviously you score no points. If you have penalty points that have accumulated through the race, you might have 15, 25 points or whatever. Do you then carry those over to the next race, or? And what happens if you choose that as your drop round?
It'll still come off your championship points.
So even though it's a drop
Yeah.
round, and you don't have nothing happens from it. So all the bonus points and all the negative points all still accumulate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So negative is still negative. Negative comes off your bottom line.
Alright. Something that I've often thought about,
Yeah,
especially with the drop rounds, you know.
comes off your total. So if you've had like say negative 10 points for say this race and you lose a drop round, you still use a drop round which is from negative 10. But it's still going to be whatever it is. You get rid of that, but you're still going to have negative 10 at the bottom. But I believe if you're towing, and because it can affect the outcome of the race, towing without permission.
But didn't we write in for race control if someone tows without permission, depending on where they're sitting on the track, you've still got the right to throw the safety car?
Yeah, but it's sort of hard to sort of do it.
Yeah, it's a very hard one to justify the people in the heat of the moment. Yeah. And look, and the opposite was last week at Villeneuve. There was one car later in the race, within the last 10 laps, and he called and was going to leave. And different situation, we'd had a good run, and I said, no, you can wait, and we'll call the safety car because it, you know, he didn't rage quit. You know, he'd done the right thing. I said, well, you wait, and we will run the safety car because yes, it does affect the race strategy. Whereas last night, the different thing, we just had a run of safety cars, and like we're only three or four laps in, and I said, no, you go, because otherwise people are just not going to have a fair run. You know, so we've got to think of those things at times to try and help the flow. Yes.
Yeah. So these boys still running. Same scenario. Everyone's starting to spread out a little bit here.
We're holding a nice gap, those three boys.
Hmm.
Scotty's sitting in 7th still, so
Yeah, Scotty doing all right. Dial's got himself into the top 10. Getting past.
Hazy's up 14 with that concrete out of the back.
Yep. Dwayne up 11 spots. It's a bit of a quiet achiever.
He's getting passed by Braden here, though. Plus, Braden did the earlier pit stop.
Commentator's curse.
Yeah. Dwayne has been improving quite a lot.
Definitely has.
Been liking his improvement week to week.
It's a different experience. You know, you can turn the laps you like in practice, but it's actually that race experience.
Oh,
Don't reverse.
Ooh, lucky.
It's actually that race experience. That's where you're going to get the most quality seat times. Where you
Yeah.
find your making improvement.
Hmm.
And that's why I said today, like, I'd rather see people getting waved around in split 3 to keep the race laps up than to be 2 laps down and quit because they know they're not going to get the lap back.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm of the opinion, like me personally, I do like the wave around through as well because you can get those cars out of the field and you're not having those blue flag issues on the restarts.
Well, can you imagine if it was like 7 laps to go and you had a car that was 3 laps down sitting third, sort of splitting up second and
Yeah.
third on the track?
Been
Yes.
there.
That'd be an absolute nightmare
Been
from
there.
a race control point of view.
Try to be honest,
Never
from
mind
the
the
driver's
drivers.
point of view. I had that at
The-
one of the NTE series races.
So I think
It's tough.
you've got to be able to wave around. You've got to at least have the discretion to do so.
But someone's facing it the wrong way there.
Yeah, well, I don't know if they're still doing it, but I did know one year at Bathurst there, and we can't do this because it takes a lot to control this. Any cars that were in the field that were a lap down or more than a lap down had to do a drive through the pits to get them out of the field on the race to restart.
Seasons.
It's kind of hard though, because when you go green early and they're sort of trying to pit, it could
Yes.
end up being like a big crash.
Yeah, it's
like here.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's very hard to control. That's why the one wave around for every car that's a lap or more down works better. And normally, like last night, we were trying to get them through on lap 2, and the idea is, if by the time they get past the field during lap 2, they're either only just starting to catch the rear of the train, or they still might be a third of a lap off the rear of the train by the time the rest of the field goes green.
Yeah.
Get them out of the way.
Yeah.
There
A
you go.
question off of
There's
YouTube
a question here for you, for Cree Chris.
What's that?
Why does the safety car come out when crash cars can escape and get out of the way easily without blocking the track? Is it the safety car for entertainment purposes and to help the lap cars get to the front?
No, it's because basically with sim racing, and we try, and everybody wants to try and have that experience that's as realistic as possible. So that's the reason why we do have the manual safety cars, to give us that realism and to bring that strategy into play as well. So your pit strategy is not so fixed. You bring out a safety car. Do I pit now? Do I fuel? Do I stay out on track? So it helps break things up a little bit.
I think you've
It's
nailed
the
it.
ultimate realism, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only
Although there is
time I
a
sort
bit
of
of
don't mind
entertainment
an
value
escape.
depending on who's driving the safety car, but
Well-
generally it's realism.
The other thing too, and I didn't add that, sometimes we throw the safety car out just for the pure entertainment of the safety car. I hope James Foster is watching at the moment.
Did that make it on the
Depends on whether there's a
broadcast?
top 10 list to make or not.
No, it didn't apparently.
Oh no.
It didn't make the not top 10 list.
Uh,
You always live in infamy in iRacing if you crash the safety car.
yeah.
Yes. Sunset VCOG. Can I say no more?
Yeah.
No?
I was the safety car in East Coast a few weeks back. Got into Bathurst pits and I tried to get John to pick up some reverse doughies in pit lane, but he missed it. I was trying to be in the background when everyone's going around the start-finish line.
Didn't quite get the timing right.
John went on board with someone. Missed
Yeah.
it.
You're supposed to
Right.
plan these things better.
I know.
So a few boys have pitted. Ed's pitted. Reggie James has pitted. So, and of course, the other ones that pitted was Braden O'Loughlin, Pete Kelleher, and John O'Kiley. So a few boys starting to pit now.
There's a bit of push here, bit of a bit of keenness to get past.
Sure, looks like he's in a hurry.
Yes.
These boys are all getting in a bit of a hurry at the moment.
That's racing for position too, so
I wasn't going to take that spot, but he sort of gave it up and left the door open, so I thought I'll take it.
never
He's
looked
got
at
in.
the door
He's
from the mouth.
pushed. I think he took the. I think Dwayne took the smart thing there and just backed out a little bit.
Yep, Bush and
Absolutely, it
Perrins
worked
in.
well. Someone's coming up the inside there.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, hang on, son.
bit heavy on the brakes.
Oh, and he's kept
Well.
it clean.
Got
He did
away with
well.
it. Got away with it. I was lurking in the background here.
There's many a car I've seen go sideways there when that happens.
Did very well to hang on to that.
A few times it's been my own.
A little bit of release of the brake pressure, bring it back under control, and hold it straight.
It just shows the improvement in Dwayne, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
So Strange, Farrington, Hyde, James, Baldock in 5th, Cullen in 6th.
Bulldog clearly hasn't pitted. No
No.
way he can be that high.
No.
Not without an oxygen mask.
how many laps were you getting? I thought 17 was the lap number last night.
No.
Geez, I tell you what, you'd if you were Shane, you'd just like to have that moment again, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So would Ricky, I think.
Yep. It's just like, yeah.
How are you, Nita? And we'll just move back up the front. So Strange and Hyde are in the pits. Faz is now out in front by himself.
And this here is probably the one pit entry that you see across all of iRacing where you have problems.
Yeah.
Yes.
Back to the top 10 a few times.
Yep. That's a freak thing though, you know.
Yeah.
The timing couldn't have been any more perfect for those two cars to hit each other like that. Half a second either way, you would have been fine.
So a few more into the pits. Baldock, Hayes and Hyde. Robert Crow still circulating behind Durwell. Bush getting a push from Perrins.
Mr. Consistency, Scotty.
Go Scotty.
Doing well.
Well, he's probably already done 400 laps of here this week, so what's another 60 going to matter?
As long as they're all consistent, that's all that matters.
So Hoff was asking what brake bias we were all running. Peter says he was running 49.3.
52.6, 52.4.
Faz is in.
51.7 I was running.
Yeah, I couldn't see your tyres lasting here if you had it too far rearward.
No, it's overheat.
Yeah, unless you were in clear air all the time and you were just running your own lap pace and not having to worry about cars around you, you might be able to do it.
That was a real struggle once you started to get that field spread out to actually find that clear track.
Mm.
You'd have it for a few laps and then sort of focusing on somebody or somebody come out the pits or whatever. So,
So Pete's still doing really well there. He's up 9 spots in the top 10 in 7th.
Actually, I meant to ask you, Josh.
Yeah.
You have many instances in the last couple of weeks with netcode.
No, I don't think so. Anything with netcode last night or the week before. But there was one week that was quite bad when I think every split was struggling with the netcode.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks at least.
Yeah.
We've had instances with netcode. We had one last night, which was on the start line. When we looked at the replay, there was like about 2 foot of netcode. The cars were 2 foot apart, and it's launched the car on the outside, and you just sort of look at it and go, okay, rightio.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very large, and we had another instance of that last week as well, plus some
I think
smaller examples too.
hold it.
Not the silver.
Oh, don't.
That's a bad feeling when you're sitting in there. Oh!
Just like you're
You
waiting
got
for that
one thing.
shark in Jaws to jump out of the water, isn't it?
And you look at the relative at that point because of the corner that you're at, and you go, I've got plenty of time,
But you haven't.
and it just closes. It closes so quick.
I actually found the track map is better in those instances. I've got a
But your
screen.
first- Yeah, your first instinct is the relative.
No, I don't look at the relative now. I look at the map, and the map I find rather than numbers gives me a better feel of how close the cars are.
What add-on do you use for the map?
I'm using JRT in iRacing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've got it set up on a tablet. It's down to my left now, the tablet, and I just have the track map on there, and I've got the timing screen above.
I'll have to give that another shot. I'm running Race Lab maps, and I find that sometimes the track map is a little bit out of whack.
Yep.
So I use it as a bit of a guide, but I don't sort of use it as gospel. So might be time to crank up the config on JRT because I've got that as well. And
I haven't found a problem with it on JRT being out, and also now because doing race control, I've configured the track map 2 with a little bit more information on it for doing the race control. So it's still a bit crowded when you've got a big field, but it definitely helps. And yeah, I've never found it to be out.
Yeah, I use JRT as well.
Sean there bouncing off the cushion. Oh, hang on to it. Hey, there we go.
Smooth.
Sexy.
I was still drifting in it.
Man on a mission, isn't he?
Oh.
It's one of those times where it
was-
hasn't paid off.
Still stuck in the wire. Did well
that
to get
was
around there without
somebody.
any. Did well to get around there any issues?
Coming in there hot too. Ooh. Yeah, well that's a drive through.
I was going to say that might be a speeding in pit lane.
I think that
Ooh.
maybe
In the background.
that in the back?
That's Pete, I think.
Hey.
I missed that one. Pete Kelleher.
Yep. I go.
It's a couple of
He was running
mistakes.
pretty steady at that point.
Yeah.
That's about the time, though, you almost halfway, you're starting to get that first brain fade. You
Yes.
sort of drift off and you're thinking about other things.
Like, what are you having for breakfast?
Geez, I've got to get up in 5 hours' time.
Yes.
Pete's
Wife's going to be cranky at me when I come to bed.
Pete's probably thinking I got Baldock behind me, and then followed by that hazy.
How more pissed off is she going to be with me tomorrow night when I tell her I'm going to go to the broadcast? all those things go through your head.
Pete's got it back under control here.
So Hamish wants to know, will we see an intense finish that lives up to what we saw with Split 2? Excited to find out.
Split 3, we never disappoint.
Never.
Just looking at the race, how it's currently going, I reckon we do.
There's little packs everywhere.
Mm.
Even looking at a track map that's not that clear on my screen. But you can see those white dots and it's just like a cluster of 5, cluster of 5, cluster of 5. So.
And what you're saying, and what you're looking at there, and that's the problem when you get a car that's a lap down. You have a look there. Any car that's a lap down, they're getting showed blue flags continually.
Yep.
You're basically always under a blue flag condition. So it's something to be mindful of. Drivers on both sides of the flag. The driver that's the slower driver, they just can't up and disappear off track. Because they're waiting for a safety car, try to get a lap back, etc. But also that person's got to be mindful of letting the faster cars through.
From my experience last night, I can honestly say that there's maybe... That's unfortunate. I will give him another. From my experience... Here we go. Dave, you just squeeze past there, mate. That's all right.
Just scratch your way through, boys.
The guys last night were fantastic. I reckon it was maybe 2 cars I had an issue with, and that's, could have been.
I think blue flags last night was 10 times better than the past. I think everyone's learnt quite a lot.
Absolutely fantastic. And thank you to all those guys that were out there.
Having a bit of a chuckle at the last 2 comments. Pete, you don't have to be intimidated by Dave Bulldog. He's not a very intimidating person.
Yeah, don't be intimidated, Pete.
And Hoff, I don't have to. Mate, I got no one here to answer to, so I wear my own pants.
But Hoff, I do. So, yes, I do have thumbprint.
Yeah, but Hoffy, which pants are they? Are they the pants or the panties?
Yeah.
Where's Gunter when we need him?
He'll turn up.
The travels of Gunter, that's all we keep seeing on Facebook.
Yes, over in Perth at the moment, having a bit of fun. Was catching up with Scotty Van Loon yesterday, apparently, but Scotty got called into work, unfortunately. Because they...
Work's a curse, isn't it?
What's that, sorry?
Work is a curse.
Yeah.
It gets in the way of sim racing.
It does.
Mentally and physically, I'm ready for retirement. Just my wallet doesn't agree.
Yeah, financially, I'm screwed.
Yeah. I'll be working until I'm 90.
What do they say? I'm working up till lunchtime on the day of my funeral.
Quite possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll be burying me in the back of a Woolies truck.
Might get you as a delivery.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a quick phone.
Sorry about that vision you got there, Hoff. You're just missing the Lederhausens.
No, I don't need to envision that. Some things should stay behind closed doors.
Yes, Dave Worrell.
Yes.
How's you doing, Belle Isle?
No posing in front of the truck off either, alright, mate?
Actually, I was going back to a comment earlier. It was about Pete being intimidated by Dave, but isn't Dave intimidated by ponies?
Oh.
Ooh, big call.
Oh.
You won't want to be around next week when he comes in.
I'm just going to move this conversation along in a different direction now. Yeah. Big Barry wants that vision, apparently.
You're worried about Big Barry?
Big Barry, be careful what you ask for.
don't know if
Yeah,
it's Big
'cause
Barry.
Listen, if you Google on the internet, you might be surprised what you find.
Of course, I'm spending Easter with Dave Worrell at the 6 hour, so it's going to be a very interesting experience, I think.
I'm already training for it.
Yeah.
You're learning your Austrian or German?
I think I'm just going to walk around with a bubble head all day.
Mark, 21 spots up, mate.
Yeah, what's
What'd you
Gibbs?
do?
Yeah, just always just keep it clean, don't overdrive it, and yeah, just playing with the brake bias, keeping that in check, making sure when you don't like the brake, it just made a movement on it. And
So who was
Oh.
driving for you last night? Because I've been behind you plenty of times, and keep it clean and it's not necessarily the top of the list.
I made it. I made a lot of good passes, but there was a lot of the drivers that recognised that I was coming through, and yeah, it sort of gave you the room. So it was
Sure.
50-50 for the rest of the field. It was good going. I was having a ball.
Sure, Pete's done
As
there.
long as the race was, and as like the heat and the whole time factor, it was fun.
Hmm.
It was just when those last 10 laps come in and the car started doing what it wanted to do.
No,
That's
what you
where
wanted
gotta-
to do.
That's where you got to tell it who's boss, mate.
This is actually one of my favourite tracks.
I love it.
It's not a track that I actually consider myself fast at. I've got a lot of room to improve there, but it is one of my favourite tracks. I think for the technical side, the challenge side of it, and it's probably this track that makes me really wish that they would probably bring Gold Coast or something similar, because Gold Coast just is so unforgiving as well into iRacing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very much like Adelaide, this one, at the start, like the step chicane type thing.
Yeah.
The right, left, right.
Well, I have heard that Sydney Motorsport Park has signed an agreement,
About time.
so that's the next one that's coming after Pukekohe, I think.
That'd be great.
They might as well do Newcastle at the same time then.
It depends. You can only do Newcastle, I suppose, if they're here at the right time. But you know, Sydney Motorsport Park, I think it is one that would be great. You know, to see. It is such a great place. I will actually admit, before we come on here, I was mucking around in another sim in Sydney Motorsport Park in the V8, and yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it's an interesting circuit too, which I think will suit a lot of different types of cars as well, particularly the lower categories.
Mm.
Jeremy keeping Scotty a bit honest here.
Does it well.
Fingers crossed. I hope Scotty keeps it together. He's this is a good run.
Mm.
It is a good run.
Jeremy was behind me for the start of the race, and yeah, he certainly makes it well known that he's there. Scotty's going to have to just keep his eyes forward and
Yeah,
But that's the thing.
Doesn't
worry about
overdrive
his
it.
race.
Doesn't overdrive it.
But that's the thing. If Jeremy's doing that, that's what he needs to do, and it's something that I think a lot of people need to learn not to push the pass, but to actually pressure the driver in front.
Yep, force a mistake. Force
yeah.
him to run wide.
Yeah.
Not so much on this track, but
3 second stop.
generally.
But even if you pressure them on this track, they end up making contact with the wall. You know, there is benefits there for you. You look at so many people where they try to push for a pass, and in the end they end up losing spots, taking themselves out, taking someone else out. Whereas if you be patient and you push somebody and you pressure them, it might take a few laps. Eventually, it will pay off.
She looks like she's given away for Pato.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant spot to be.
Bit worried
If
about.
somebody coming just a little bit too quick around that corner, and that's
Bitten.
spear line
And here comes the safety
Actually-
car.
There's the safety car.
Actually, was it a spin or
I think the engine let go.
let go? Because I was going to make that. We had, I think, 3 of our safety cars were blown motors
Hmm.
in the early part of the race.
Well, there's a couple of really aggressive spots where you're gearing down pretty quick, so that doesn't surprise me. So Hoff says that Hayes is a great student, takes on board everything. Probably the reason he is up 18.
Up 20.
Up 20 even.
Yeah. Hazy's very astute. Upgraded his wheel to a semi-cube as well last week or two.
Yes, he was talking a lot about that the other night.
Mm.
Yes, yeah, getting the settings right. I need to find somebody here locally that's got one so that I can compare it to the DD1.
I'd like to compare, but I've got too much money tied up in my DD1. So I think divorce number 3 would be definitely on the cards if I started talking about another high-end wheelbase. And who makes the 35 Newton meter wheel? Because that's probably the one I'd want to go for.
35.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Stuck on your Popeye. Oh, Bulldog
Jeez,
getting
look.
a wave around. See you, Dave?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dave didn't actually get a wave around there, but he just took one.
It's took one. That'd be a Bulldog move. Look at me go. I passed this. I'm in front now.
All I remember him saying was something along the lines of, I'm going to make sure that I get this in the photo of me passing you, Reg.
Yeah, he took his time as well.
Hey, listen, you got to watch some of these guys too, because I had a call last night. I think it was on our second safety car. Somebody called, "Oh, can I get a wave round?" I had a look there, and I've just looked up at the timer. No, you're on the lead lap.
Oh, really?
Don't worry, Josh. Josh always checks them.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there and things you learn. I'm going, just wait till everybody passes the start finish line, and then I'll
Yeah, I
decide.
do the same thing.
Yeah.
Interesting looking safety car too.
Beautiful safety car, isn't it? I might be slightly biased, but
I was going to say that's a different livery to our safety car, isn't it?
Josh, what happened?
it is.
Flair, what happened?
Blair, that's what
Whatever.
happened.
It's been the proper one in the last couple of weeks.
No, it's been this one for the last few weeks.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
Whatever
that's
you've
all.
done, don't change it.
Yeah.
Quick. Dill.
Days in lieu.
No. Director's comment.
Ah.
Yeah.
Whooshka.
Yeah, there you go.
And let's squeeze through.
There you go. You don't want to see the safety car in an incident.
Oh.
Oops.
Well,
No, bang.
we probably needed some Benny Hill music playing at that point, but
Safety cars. Stop.
Yeah, it's problem with YouTube.
Oh no.
that's another one of those spots where you just want to bury yourself.
Mm,
You just want to. You want the track to open up
Yeah,
and swallow you.
never
I've been
easy.
there.
Just open it up and swallow you.
Yeah. You sort of just need, if you crash there, just don't move.
mm.
But
Bulldogs
So
in the
Hamish says, fantastic to have you back for Split 3 broadcast, John. So glad these guys are still getting a broadcast every week. I think every one of us in the chat here with you, John, would second that.
Look, it's. Don't get much more comedy value than this, do you?
Oh, what else would you want to do on a Friday night?
Great way to wind down for the weekend.
That's it.
What's going on here, Dial?
Oh,
I don't know. We're just on board with the hot lap.
Hot lapping under the
Oh.
safety car. They said, where is the safety car, Reg, with him? Yep. Of course, this time.
Oh, what's happened there?
That's right. What was the car?
I did not see that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we don't see everything because we're concentrating on.
Yeah,
Doing the lap.
I'm just clicking on the safety car and then.
Is
Yeah,
that maybe another blown engine? Seems like a really weird spot to be parked.
Hmm.
possibly.
I think at this point of the race, I was quite happy to be sitting behind that safety car because it was a chance to have a drink and
Yeah.
sort of catch your breath and have a bit of a think about things. Yeah, Scotty Perrin's up in the third spot.
Doing really well.
Buddy,
this time,
if you're
Scotty.
watching, jump on the chat.
Jump in the green room.
Or jump in the green room. You're invited.
Who's that? Scotty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hoff says engine overheated from damage.
I'll explain why the engine stopped.
No, it was in split one.
Him going to himself.
So we're sitting behind the safety car in the restart. We've got Hazy up 20 and we've got Dial up 20.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the safety cars. They were very
There's a lot
tight.
of green numbers on there. I'm not seeing a lot of red numbers, so
They're sitting down off the screen, down below 20.
Yeah, Ricky down 7, down 10.
Lucas Burt up 17.
I think he's just gone to pit, so you'll.
Braden's back up 6 spots again. He's been a bit up and down this race.
I think this was an extra lap on the safety car. Because of the those
Yeah.
crashes.
Yes.
There's a 006 in the wrong place.
That was pretty much the story, wasn't it?
I could not work that out. I just couldn't work it out. I went back to the lap where you were one position higher, and then I went every car in front, and they're all like there, and I'm like, I don't know.
No, there was 2 cars that went by.
Somebody called
Just
out and
don't know
said
who they were.
Yeah, I
somebody
couldn't work
called
it
out
out.
and said that Mark should be behind him.
No, he said that Mark should be in front. That he should be in front of Mark.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was Braden and Lachlan.
What, you have a pit exit issue or from where they...
No, I'm pretty sure it was potentially a pass on the safety car, but I couldn't find it.
A few people that weren't listening to race control.
There was one call out that said, I thought we were still on the safety car, and I was like, are we green?
Like,
Yeah,
pretty sure we'd been green
Wait a
about
minute.
5 laps by then.
Yeah.
I
Been
did
green
hear
for-
that.
We'd been green for a lap and a half.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I still can't work out why iRacing does that, because I had it last season as well. There would be a call and you've got all your channels open and everything, but you just don't hear it.
No.
There's a thing, I don't know, it's you've got to have it set right, and you can actually change it in the OANI file. You can actually even add channels
Nah, right.
in the OANI file.
Uh,
I know mine, as soon as I'll hear everybody call out, like, can I get a radio check in during practice? But as soon as I do, I can do that. And I jump in, and as soon as I jump on the grid, it's crossed out, everything's crossed, all teams has crossed out.
Yeah, I get that as well.
And I
Yeah.
think, well, why are you calling this out now? Because on the grid, this might change.
Yeah,
But I think
it,
everybody's not calling it out on the grid. It might be more of a, is my microphone actually working?
it's strange that for some people that I'd forgotten about that. That sometimes when you do grid, it will mute some people.
Yep.
I don't know why, but see, from race control, we set ourselves up on a channel where we override.
Yep.
You know, whether you mute everyone else, but of course, if it mutes your sound fully, well, you're not going to hear us.
No, I hear race control. They're not never a problem. And I only hear a handful. There's a handful of drivers. Scotty, I don't hear.
Yep.
He's one I don't hear. I know that if he's talking, you hear the reply. So I don't know.
Could be
I
transmitting
just
to
think
race
something
control.
like it.
Yeah, some people just go to like us, so then no one else can hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes
Fair
that's a
enough.
good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jace, Bulldog is up into the top 10, up 7 spots. And he went very early, Rich.
I did.
Catch the field off guard.
I thought to myself, what would they be expecting me to do?
Yeah.
And I did the opposite. Jace obviously had prime position, so he saw me go, but it worked pretty well outside of that. We cracked the gap about 1.5 seconds, I think, on Scotty. So
Yeah, it definitely blasted away.
for me, it was just trying to find that rhythm again, because whilst you love the idea of the safety car to give you a breather, you just want to be sort of turning those laps, keeping it consistent.
Oh, you
This
did a
is-
good gap on Jason.
Yeah, and that's the problem. You get out of your rhythm, and I've often found myself on the restart. It's going through your head. Don't stuff this up. Don't stuff this up. Don't stuff this up.
Yep. And
Yeah.
you've got to shake those thoughts quickly, because otherwise, they're starting to.
It takes over.
When you're coming into that next turn, and then you make a mistake, and then you start thinking about that, and it just steamrolls.
Hmm.
Which is pretty much what I did there. I made 2 or 3 little mistakes, and I've got Jace right back on the tail. And
Body's closed in a little.
watching from the replay, you can see he's pushing it pretty hard, because he's getting a bit drifty in some of those corners. So I ended up, it probably would have been close to around about this time that I just ended up not looking in the mirror anymore. So, you know what, I know he's there. Keep my eyes forward.
I'd be more worried about the hard charging. Mark Dial up 21 spots in 8th.
See, I couldn't see that from my perspective.
He was gone.
Hazy.
Oh.
It's nice that it gets going again.
He'll tell you that was
No,
deliberate.
that was happening. Eyes forward.
Tyres a little bit greasy for a few corners after that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely be a bit of hard work. Simon Harworth doing really well as well. He's up 11 spots in the 12th. Drive from him at the moment.
It's going to be exciting in a couple of seasons. You've got this core group that sort of sits in the sort of 8 to 20 range, that are there each and every week. And they might be up and down in that range, but give them another couple of seasons and a little bit more confidence, more practice, more speed. Those guys are going to be up at the top of the split, if not in split 2. So it's going to be really interesting to see how some of them progress.
And some new hardware along the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
My number one tip, probably for those ones that you're talking about to improve, is don't race anything else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hands down. Spot on.
Yep.
Yep.
Just concentrate on racing the V8. You know,
As soon as you get out of that and you get into, whether it be a Skip Barber or whatever, you're splitting your time, and it's going to take you 3 times longer to improve in the car you want to improve in.
because I made the comment, and I still don't know how true it was. It was just a guesstimation comment on my. But a couple of weeks ago, when everyone was complaining about the race setup, about the braking, they were all having issues. But I made the comment: how many people were practicing during the week in GT3s, then hopping back into the V8 supercar and were suffering braking issues, were locking up brakes, were just couldn't get the balance of the car. You're coming out of something with ABS brakes and you go back to something that's raw like these on the braking, the muscle memory takes a bit to adapt back.
It's a vicious beast, this car, and it demands that you spend the time in it.
Yeah.
Not anything else.
So of course, what do? Go and sign up. Go and sign up to the 86 development series for NTE.
You'll be right with that. With these though, like I was obviously practicing for the 12 hour, and I jumped in a vet session for 20 minutes just because I was sick of the car. I just couldn't go any faster. Jumped in this car, did like 10 laps in the vet session, jumped back in, went quicker. So these cars work to help you get better in other cars.
Yes. Yeah, and
it doesn't go the other way.
Yeah, I totally agree there at all, because we learn in these to drive with no assist whatsoever. I know when I come into the V8s, my learning curve, having come from basically a GT3 series, when I started in these, when we had that season where I was in split free, I just learnt so much and improved the skills, and that followed on through the next couple of seasons as well.
Yep.
Yeah. In GT3, you're sort of turning on the assist, but hoping they don't kick in.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you can't.
Traction turned up, but if it kicks in, your lap time's dead.
Yeah, well, they're still working all the time. You just don't realise it.
Yeah.
You go and drive a GT3 with everything turned off, and they're basically drivable. You can't drive them at all. And then, of course, if you go and drive an open wheeler, well, then you go from driving a car where you're relying on a lot of downforce for the higher corner speeds, and you come back to a tin top. You've got to learn a complete different driving style again.
Scotty Perrin's doing really well.
He was touched by him as well.
I'm
a bit concerned. You need to stop touching the drivers.
I'm leaving that one to Gunter as well. Ed Cullen is about 2.5 seconds behind Scotty Perrins. He's sitting in third, doing well. Ed's under a lot of pressure from Faz and Jeremy Bush behind.
Again, nice little train going there. Just enough area to keep everybody moving in the right direction. Looks like Ed's trying to break a bit of a gap though.
He's pushing.
Definitely in a hurry.
He's got Scotty in his sights. He wants to see if he can close that gap.
I would suggest that we're doing it.
I think Hoffy meant that I was taught by him, not touched.
Way to mix your words.
This is the first time you got in a V8. That must have been when he touched you.
Yeah.
Inappropriately while you were getting the seat buckled.
Never driven a V8 in iRacing, and 2 weeks later I did the Bathurst 1000.
Crazy.
And never had an incident point.
Even crazier.
Speaking of crazy, where's Baldock? He's sitting in 10th, still up 7 spots. Battling away. Relatively well. And the other battle's on track. Reg is starting to come under a bit of pressure. Jace is coming.
mean this in the nicest possible way, but he's like a hemorrhoid. You constantly feel him there.
I had to think about that one for a minute.
I was wondering where you were going with it.
What's that cream? Just get out some of that.
No,
Yeah.
I think just think
It's
you.
like he's got some real straight line pace, and if he can get to you in the right section of the track, he closes in so much that I think that sometimes he's got to back out a little bit so that there's no contact.
Yep.
Thinking. Yeah.
You're getting a good exit off the corner.
Yeah, it was one of those spots where I knew I could push the car fairly hard and comfortably. So for me, that was my saving grace almost, that section of the track. Which, you know, if you then get turns 1, 2 here, right, then it makes life a lot easier heading up to the big one. So
But we just pulled the drone out for a little bit. We haven't played with it tonight.
just following Dave around the track.
No, that's one of those selfie sticks on the back of the car, isn't it?
Oh,
Oh, he's gone delivering pizzas.
Commodus curse.
I thought this was the ski cam, and then we're stuck on the back.
Oh,
Oh,
Dunny thought he'd come say hello too.
That's
Yeah.
twice it's happened.
Yep.
Dave's finished up that corner and somebody's popped in
And
to say hello.
Dunny's both times.
It must
Was
be
it done?
stopping for
it was
Bay
later
21 coffee.
the first time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was done the first time.
I thought it was Slater the first time, sorry.
Just stopping in for a Bay 21 coffee.
Yep. Coffee break.
I'm going to hook the trailer up to him next week.
Oh, that just gave me a great idea for a race, you know. We just hook up 22
Ooh,
foot.
Smack the wall.
Caravans, but top
Yeah,
gear.
yeah, vans on the back and off we go.
Jeremy's really pushing it there.
Under a bit of pressure though. He's been Braden tucked up behind.
Yeah, and trying not to lose the group in front.
That's getting more racy
Here we
again.
go.
Body's out of the way.
That was
Got a bit deep there from Jeremy.
bad.
So Jeremy's dropped off the back of these guys, falling the clutches of Braden.
So Eddie and Faz are racing each other there still too, aren't they? Rather than sort of helping each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can see there the gap that allowed Scotty to open up on him.
Yeah, we'll suddenly become preoccupied with something else.
Yeah, you're not taking the fast lines that you need to be taking.
And giving each other the toe. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's if you get two cars like that, you're helping each other. You know, tested it out on the NASCAR track. Both cars are faster. You get a toe going.
Yeah, I think at this point of the race, with still 17 laps to go, you want to try and work together and close that gap.
Faz ducked into
And
the pits.
Once you can sort of dispatch of whoever you're trying to catch, then you can get back to fighting amongst each other. At least that would be my...
Yes.
All up 6. Lucas Bird up 20 spots. He's our hard charger at the moment.
Tell you what, considering all the excursions that Dave's done, he's still holding his own.
Yeah, this is where I went back in to get the extra 8 litres that they stiffed me on.
Didn't give you.
I'm just trying to think if I've given Dave a sponsorship deal where he's got every time he gets on the broadcast, I have to give him money or something like that because he seems
Yeah.
to be...
You need to have a word to your pit crew, do you?
Well, at least he's got the bonnet on today.
He does, yes.
Comes Lucas.
I'm pretty sure my guys were able to get a shot last night. Oh, it's the wrong way.
Nicely gets it done without getting in the way. Of course, yeah, he's still
Yeah,
got the
that's a hold your breath moment.
Dave's still got the bonnet on.
Oh, Lucas.
Hazy with the fresh tyres of Faz behind him. There's no bonnet too there, Hazy.
So, John, you can probably see the info. So, out of all the front runners, have they all pitted for home?
There we go. Reg, Strange,
I
Perrins haven't.
haven't.
Cullen has, Bush has, Lachlan, Kelleher, Hayes hasn't. Faz has, Johnston has, Baldock, Hill, Burt, yeah. So most of them have, except for the top four.
I knew that Jason myself
Sorry,
hadn't,
sorry?
but I didn't realise that Scotty Perrins hadn't either, so...
Hazy fighting hard in. Of course, it's lap 52. Lucas has had his engine expire. Probably not an ideal spot to have that happen, Josh.
No, not an ideal one.
No.
Tucked down the end of the stream.
To the right might have been a better option there.
Yeah, stuck down the bottom of the stream. So, got a feeling that's just brought out the
reckon.
safety car.
Is that pit exit?
And I'm going to tell you right about now, I'm the happiest man on the planet because I was really struggling to hold Jace out.
Particularly
Got it
with
all lined up perfectly then.
This is where I, go back in for the extra 8 litres and get a penalty. Because crew chief wouldn't listen that I wanted no tyres. I'm going to have to feed him some more donuts next week.
He's hungry. Yes,
Why
so the
didn't you want
safety
to-
car is out, but he hasn't left pits because he would have been in a lot of people's way who are making pit stops.
Why didn't you want tyres?
Well, I've only taken on about 8 litres.
But still, to have the fresh rubber.
Yeah.
What was that?
I would have taken tyres, even with
Yeah,
the leaders.
Well, in
Yeah,
hindsight,
I
On
like
the safety car.
you'll see in hindsight later on, I probably should have, but
Hindsight, that's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
8 litres and tyres, I just didn't worry. Didn't really need. I didn't think I really needed them because it was just that at that point where there wasn't a lot to go, and I figured I'd make a few more spots with a lot of people having the pit.
If you
the
do
pave.
get in and out.
And it was quick. It was really quick. This is where.
And you sort of got to decide because a splash and dash is only eight seconds. You know, so
Stones would only add another like 3 to that though.
I think
No, well,
it's
that's-
8 litres of
12 or
fuel.
13.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
exactly.
13 seconds to do tyres, I reckon it was.
Yeah.
How long?
I think it was 12 or 13 seconds to do tyres.
8 to 12 in the V8.
Yeah. Yeah, I normally get it about 8 or 9. I've got a button set up on my Stream Deck pre-commanded for I think it's 18 litres, and a set of tyres, and that will always get me out in no more than 9.
I need to set up some of these buttons.
Does make it easy. I have always done it where I'll have my pit strategies. You do it through the chat command in iRacing, and then have those buttons assigned on the stream deck. So if you want to do a short pit stop, it might be a 40 litre stop or 60 litres. You come into the pits, bring up, because basically on the stream deck you're just bringing up the black box screen. So you bring up the pit stop black box screen. That button's 60 litres. Just press that. That one's a splash and dash. Just press that. Just having them there ready to go. And plus I've also got a plus or minus button, so if crew chief or JRT is telling me I can short fuel a bit, I've only just got to press a couple of times, and so you'll go, yep, I want that option, but I'll just press down a couple of times and reduce the amount of fuel a little bit. Just saves so much confusion chasing your tail as you're coming into pit lane.
There's nothing worse than trying to find the cursor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going, I left the damn thing on the black box. Where is it?
It doesn't take long for it to disappear either.
You're trying to crank that fuel level down before you actually get to your pit box, or whatever the case is. Yeah. I need to just go, you know what? I'll bite the bullet and go and spend half an hour in there and set up some stuff to make life easier.
Yeah, I've got to dig up a new USB port because I got a number pad delivered the other day. USB one.
Okay.
So I've got to find another port, or maybe just get a adapter and plug 2 into 1.
Got a stream deck sitting there, but I just don't use it.
Alright, I've got the 15 one here, then I've got the XXL one upstairs. I use on Photoshop and Lightroom, and geez, it makes it quicker and simple. Instead of chasing around using the keyboard and the mouse, you just go press bang as you're doing photos. all of your common functions.
Control Alt Z, Control Alt Z, Control Alt Z.
And there's plenty of people out there that have got preset profiles. iRace IT is one of the best ones for iRacing. And I only discovered that one after I'd already set up a lot of stuff, so mine is basically a mixture of what I've already got set up.
iRace IT.
Yeah, iRace IT. And he's working on that all the time in functions. It'll basically, dare I use the word macro, a lot of the controls.
It's a bit rough
The
there,
problem
Dial.
that I have is I think I'm gonna do that this weekend. I'm gonna sit down and do that, and then I get out and I get stuck into the real car.
Yeah.
I believe the
Doesn't
time's
happen.
gone.
Ricky's missing his rear wing.
Apparently the rear wing's overrated anyway.
I discovered last season it burns more fuel when you don't have it. That's it. The car's faster, but you burn more fuel.
I'm hoping they get with the Gen 3s they get it right, in that it should be a little bit more unstable.
Well, I'm interested to know how. Supposedly the talk is that the Gen 3 is coming out at the end of this season.
Along with rain.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think rain will be at the end of this season.
Rain will be end of the year, I reckon.
But-
Rain's always coming.
But iRacing will have the Gen 3 out before the Gen 3's actually probably got the parity testing and everything done in real life.
Oh, it's got.
Yeah.
I think they're under a bit of pressure from Supercar for the E Series, from what I'm hearing from some people.
Okay.
It'd certainly be interesting to see because it's not that far off.
2x, isn't it?
I guess 2 weeks, yeah. Let's go to a rough circuit that's interesting.
Yeah, don't make it easy for them. Go to a track where they can probably get there
Yeah.
early.
It's better than starting the racing season at Winton.
What's wrong with winter?
Yeah. Yeah, but a lot of them
I don't
test
know.
at Winton, so
I
that's
don't mind the track, but I think it's too small for our cars. Not wide enough. Just follow the leader.
just
Plenty of
doesn't
overtaking
just
spots
doesn't
there. You just got to put the mower blades on when you go.
Exactly.
doesn't-
Just needs that
doesn't-
bit wider.
it doesn't let you stretch the legs out enough. It'd be like trying to take a superbike there. you
Yeah.
know? Just really not going to work. Be holding on for dear life.
Safety cars disappeared off in the distance again.
He went early.
That's a good spot to go because the last time we were going around, I was getting closer and closer and closer. I'm thinking, shit, is he actually going to say the safety cars in the pits?
Yeah, I did.
So you got Bush, Farrington, James, Strange, O'Loughlin, Kelleher, Cullen, Dilwell, Herons, and Baldock rounding out our top 10. And Jeremy went early.
Yep.
So Reg the trendsetter.
Another visual you don't need.
Oh, bit loose
Ooh.
there.
That opens the door. Don't have to ask Faz twice.
Reg is thinking of having a look here too.
Ah, yeah, I was coming down there going, where do I go?
Oh,
Hey! Taxi!
That was lucky.
that was very lucky.
I was lucky to come out of that where I did. As
Yeah,
a
you did.
accelerator and yeah.
Scotty done relatively well. He's still holding out in the top 10. But definitely yourself with a bit of pressure behind you here, Reg.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, Faz has squared up the entry into that corner a lot more there. Got a good drive.
Yes. Yep. It was definitely making me think about my lines.
Steve Murray saying you got the good old 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone are good.
And every lap I've been able to break away from Jace there, and I tried to do the exact same thing, and Faz has just stuck to me like super glue.
Interesting there. You think you're tucked under to get the drive, but you tend to lose a bit of aero on the back wing. And she spins up on you.
Yep. Oof, side by side through there.
Braden having a crack.
And again,
That's having a bit of confidence in your fellow racer.
Pete Keller has just had a spin.
Really.
A little 10-lap battle here to get home. Oh,
Oh, he,
Oh,
I thought he was heading for the pit entry there for a second.
Yeah.
think if I would pick it back up. Pete's saying he got tagged. That one that I didn't show. Correct with that. Lap 58 started. Might be time to get back on the drone cam. What do you reckon?
Yeah, why not?
get on with parents. Oh no!
Oh,
Yep.
is that Scotty hit there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And smoked up the lens. Poor old Hazy. Red's still under a bit of pressure.
At least Hazy back next week.
What's
Wonder
that?
did Scotty get much damage there because he's still going in 8th.
Yeah, Scotty got hit, and then I think Dave coming through clipped him, and
He was having such a good, clean, consistent race, and yeah, when you have something like that, it's not his fault.
I can tell you about this point of time I'm sick of seeing orange behind me.
Everybody's orange.
Yeah.
Like, orange here, orange there.
Orange everywhere.
And sometimes there's a flash of a red sign. You go, was that orange?
Yeah.
Have they caught me?
Getting good drive off the corners, Reach.
It didn't feel like it, but looking back at this, yeah, you can actually see it. So I think it's one of those things where it was probably more us in class. I was fairly conservative through that section most of the night. I found that in practice I was locking it up or going really wide and losing too much time, so I just made a conscious decision that if it was going to cost me a little bit, it was going to cost me a little bit.
Faz has got very good pace through that fountain area.
Of course, for those in iRacing circles, it's known as the Sir James, well, not as Sir, it's known as the James Scott Memorial Fountain. Of course, named after James Scott. Not the iRacing driver, the philanthropist of Detroit.
There you go. I didn't know that.
Another fun.
You're just full of facts tonight, aren't you?
Good at his facts.
Done a few broadcasts here now.
You got to wonder what's going through the heads of Faz and Jace back there. They both seem to have different sections of the track where they're able to be a little bit more aggressive. But
Yeah.
neither one's sort of making any inroads.
Good driving though.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, Faz really good pace through there.
Said it's a tough track to pass on, though.
It is. I felt that section of track was my biggest strength most of the night.
Yeah.
much kept me out of the danger zone up here of anybody trying to make a big move on the inside.
It's definitely showing these last 2 laps where different drivers, different strengths on consistently, have different strengths on different parts of the track. And it's consistent lap after lap.
Just missed what happened to Mark Dial on the lap
What
before.
happened to Mark Dial? He'll tell us.
No, I won't.
Apparently,
No, it didn't want to go through and turn on the back straight, clip the wall, and just sucked me into it. Couldn't back it out, so I just called for race control and just. Yep, out, gone. And with 7 laps to go, it wasn't worth trying to wait for him to come out of the pits. And
still plenty of smoke in the background there.
And Stephen, yeah, you could be right. He may have better pedals. He was certainly braking much better than me.
It's one of the player 1 cars stuck in the pits. I think it might have been Simon Harworth. Got that nice little gap against Jason having a look on Faz.
Yeah, he's got him this time.
And done.
Job done. Braden in to have a look here as well. Fair from Braden, it'll be like 1 o'clock in the morning now, New Zealand time.
Yep.
Don't know how he does it.
Well, that's like my offsider in race control. He's in Christchurch as well. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning for him by the time we finish. For James.
It's commitment.
Dedication for you.
Good effort
Yeah.
by James every week.
Yeah, and considering he's not vet, he's not old enough to be a vet yet.
Nah, he's
Put
only
his
young.
hand up.
Didn't he come across the league on iRacing Down Under? Or something like that?
Possibly. I couldn't be sure.
Nah, well he's Kiwi, so probably not. He posted it on the active forum.
Ooh,
He come
Braden
across and
just hitting the ball in the background there.
Actually, that reminds me, next week I've got to get him to try to say 6.
No.
if he is listening, he will not be saying that number. How many laps to go, James?
It's like the same nightmare with a different car behind me.
Yeah, still an orange car.
Just a different tone.
Nothing's changed.
He was letting me know he's there.
You haven't cracked under pressure yet?
No, again, I got to this point. I went, don't look at the mirror.
Yeah, turn it off.
This Bulldog's just slowed down. I think he may have an issue.
Yep, that's a that's
Blown
an
engine.
failure.
Board
Quite
at
possibly from the,
so
quite possibly from the damage that he took when he went through that turn 3 incident.
so
Come on, Josh. Now, is this when you call a safety car? Make it really interesting?
it's right on the 4-lap mark.
Nah.
Now. So another Ford engine. Let's go.
Let's hope not another one up the front here.
No bites from Dial.
About the foot out, he's checked out of the race, so he's checked out of the commentary team as well.
Yep. God, that's it. Had enough.
I'm still here. Now that must have been a little horse get stuck underneath Dave Bulldog's car there. It wouldn't have been a blown engine from the Ford.
So you reckon he was missing a bit of horsepower?
Yeah.
She was definitely a blown engine.
Missing a couple of ponies.
He must have got out through the gate again.
Scotty Perrins putting some pressure on Dwayne Dill, who's up 20 spots. That's a great drive from Dwayne.
It's fantastic.
Hmm.
Let's have a look at Scotty here.
Oh, Scotty.
Oh, no.
After such a great first 3 quarters of the race,
Yeah.
But
And
he's just
straight
had a
what's
run.
on. Jason looked like he's better have a run on yourself there.
Yeah, I kept it pretty tight there. Didn't realise how close he was. As I said, I stopped looking in the mirror, so
So far, I'm impressed. He's tight, but not touching.
I think that's what she said. Yeah.
And again, we're lucky Gunter isn't here tonight.
Don't need him visiting his hometown. Yeah, you know things are different when you're spending that much time down that side of the track.
Yeah. We're getting
This
good
is a
drive.
really good view from the rear wing.
Mm.
Just get rid of that middle there. It's just blocking the view a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of cars on track that have done that, where they're just testing that.
Oh, he's got the
camera.
drive here. Oh, what happened there?
He got just a
Kept
little
it.
bit too much.
Yeah.
Two
He's
completely
trying-
different lines through there.
So he's trying to get out of your mirrors, see if you make a mistake, but
Mm.
you're holding it tight so far.
There is a problem sometimes too if you that car behind and you start trying too hard to be in and out of the mirrors. That's when you start making mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eyes forward.
Yeah. Yep.
Second and last lap. 2 to go.
Yep.
The penultimate lap.
Can he do it?
That was just
A quick look at another battle festering away back here. Retained 12, we're still doing really well. Sanford, Johnston and Bush.
John's still up 11 spots. He's
Yeah.
worked his way up.
Yeah, these boys doing really well. Three parents at the back of this bunch.
And
Oh,
Anthony's in the chat. Good to see Scotty parents towards the front nowadays.
Scotty.
Absolutely. It's coming along in leaps and bounds.
There. Oh, having another look. Can't get it done.
But the most praiseworthy thing there is not yous aren't touching. He's not coming up on you.
Nah.
He's getting damn close, but he's doing a good job not to hit the car in front.
He's in the vortex of danger.
And it's nice to know that that can happen. You know, you can have two people racing fairly tight, and there's not that fear of getting the good old shunt. Although obviously, he's made a mistake somewhere there. He's dropped back half a second.
I think some of that, some of those moves, some of the effort he was trying would have burnt up his tyres a bit.
Yeah, got a bit hot.
The last lap.
Whether or not he can catch you by the fountains sequence.
Yeah, I think so. You got to
Coming up on some lap traffic.
You got to be thinking at championship as well. If you're in Jason's position, no point bending it on the last lap.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
I was making the point to Reg earlier that I have absolutely no idea about championship positions. So if I make a call on anyone, I don't know where you are in the championship. So nothing can be decided.
I was going
It was that car that pulled off then.
Yeah, they've done a good job. I was going to say the exact same thing, Josh. I've made a point of not looking at the points.
Yeah, don't want to know. Haven't looked at it for the last couple of seasons because I don't want a penalty to go the way of someone or flip side benefit anyone for a penalty.
Great little
Poor old
finish from
Dave. I
these
think
two.
I was yelling in the microphone about now. Yelling, go.
And kept it flat over the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't pull it up.
Race control, can you look at that?
Yeah.
Well done, Reg.
Thank you.
Well done, Reg.
Well done, Reg.
That was a cracker race.
See if Ryan can hang on here for 7th, up 19 spots. Oh,
Oh,
was that Scotty? Sorry, who that
I think
was?
it was.
So we got a great drive there from Reg, finishing himself off in first. Jason Strange in second, Simon Farrington home in third. Good drive from Faz, up 3 spots. Ed Cullen was fourth. Braden O'Loughlin up 9 spots to fifth. Jeff Sanford, a great result for the Player One driver to put himself in in sixth spot. Wayne Dillwell, as we spoke about, up 19 spots. Andrew Johnstone up 11 spots, another great drive there. Scotty Perrins in ninth. Pete Kelleher, 6th. Michael Hayes up 16 spots. Jeremy Bush, Neil Waters, Shane Nickel, Ricky Hyde comes home in 15th. Great drive from Anita Buckland, up 8 spots into 16th. So well done, Anita. 17th was Daniel Sheriff. 18th was Cal Pickering. 19th was Harworth. Baldock home in 20th. Richardson 21st. Dunn 22nd. Dial 23rd. Lucas Burt 24th. 25th was Robert Crow. And Marshy was 26th. But I'm not sure whether Marshy got enough laps to get home or not. Anyway, blew that one up to smarter people than me calculating numbers to work out what 75% is.
75% is 51 laps.
51.
So yeah, Marshy just misses out, unfortunately. So only did 49. So yeah, good drive, Reg. Must be pretty happy with that one.
thank you. Yeah, good. Glad to get that one under the belt. As I said earlier in the race, though, it was great just to be able to race around the track, and everybody was aware of what's going on, and there was no real big issues. So big shout out to everybody that was on track because they all did a fantastic job.
Never the easiest place to race.
Shit of a track.
Yeah,
In that regard.
but does create some,
In that regard.
does create some good racing. Getting a little bit of feedback there from Blanchard. I think it's just stopped. Next week, boys, as we were saying before, we're off to Winton, which will be an interesting one. Any thoughts on that one? Any idea who's going to be the substitute teacher, Josh?
No idea. It could just be a ticket system at this stage. We'll work out something during the week.
Yep. And yeah, Winton, quite an interesting circuit to be racing at as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think I've done 2 or 3 there. So not a huge amount of laps there, but it's just one of those tracks, isn't it?
Hmm.
We're all looking forward to it. I can hear it in everybody's voice.
Is it 100 laps? Is it 100 laps?
I'm just trying to find the sheet now.
120, isn't it? No, I don't think it is.
I think we usually do 100 laps there, so 300
Yeah.
usually.
I got a feeling it's a 200, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only
Yeah,
300.
let's
Yeah.
hope so. The last time we did Winter. Thank God for that. We did the shorter one, I think.
Yeah, we did 200 last time as well. Felt like a 300.
Winton is actually 150.
150.
51 laps.
Oh,
Okay.
that's even better.
Nice little sprint.
Thing is with Winton, and I learnt this: load up a test session and drive it in reverse.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
Not at race pace. Just drive it in reverse, and it's amazing how much you learn about. And actually, I do this for a lot of circuits. driving in reverse, the only time you can do it is in a test session, and it doesn't black flag you or anything. And it's amazing what you can learn about the camber on corners. You'll start to see things in a different light, and you'll start to understand why the car will slide or hold if you get onto a certain line through a corner or through the exit of a corner, because you start to understand which way the camber's going. And around those back corners on Winton, it really works to get that in your mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I must admit you're on the money there
Trick of the
because
trade.
walked around Bathurst this week and actually really start to see how those cams actually really shaping up, particularly on L Corner and Murray's, and how you've really got to get that entry right to get the most out of that camber. And speaking of the green room, got Mr. Ed Cullen sitting in there, hiding up the top there. Ed, how are you?
Hey, Johnny.
G'day, Ed.
Brother.
How you going, mate? Hiding up in the wrong green room where we couldn't see you.
Mate, I'm totally bamboozled what's going on.
That's all right.
all I heard there was it was. Are we live? Are we?
Yes.
We are live.
Okay. Thank you. So it's actually the race is on.
The race is on.
It's finished.
Just finished
The
it.
race is done and dusted. We're
Yep.
watching cars go around slowly.
Oh, okay. So who do we
Well,
go?
and like all Western Australians, you're 3 hours behind. So
Yeah.
You press play about now, you'll catch it live.
Anyway,
Sorry.
now that
I
Ed,
was,
yeah, go ahead.
I was trolling the forums all day, and I just never picked anything up.
It
Yeah,
was
my bad.
no, it was a bit of a weird one. Bit of a
Late decision.
Hail Mary,
late call.
Hail Mary message from Reg this morning, pleading with me to do something, which led to a discussion of if we're going to do something, what it's going to have to look like to move forward, so we don't have the recurrence of the last couple of weeks. So now come up with basically a broadcasting team, and hopefully we've got one missing tonight, but hopefully that team will generally regularly be with us. So it's basically, we're hoping yourself, Reg, Hazy, Mark Dial, Ross Drage, Shane Pattinson and myself, with special comments from Baldock and Dave Worrell. And then we're going to, during the week, we'll invite a special guest to come and join us. So this week we've got the man, the myth, the legend of sending out safety cars, Chris Split 2. Yeah, so that's how we're going to move forward with it. Let's keep it a core group, and that way we can control what's happening and control the language. And during the week we can organise things like the sheet that I've done tonight for the boys, so everyone else can see what I'm working off. Well, when it comes to running a broadcast.
I love it.
For a great experience for the viewers, hopefully.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah, so that's what's happening.
We're not winging it anymore.
No.
Never. I wasn't winging it. Everybody coming in was winging
Yeah, semi under control.
it. Yeah, so a little bit more under control, and and then we
The old code of conduct and all that sort of stuff.
yeah the old ACA's gotten involved.
Just try and make it enjoyable for everybody.
Yeah.
From all the people watching to the people broadcasting, keep it a fun, enjoyable night.
And involve everyone, anyone that's watching that race on Thursday night, that they feel involved. And
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's encouraged into the chat, and we've had some good discussions via the chat tonight as well, which has been great. And that's the idea, for people to be involved, jump in the chat and yeah, we'll try and answer everyone's questions where we can.
Awesome.
Yep.
I love it. Much appreciated, guys. Thank you for that the offer to be on the board.
That's all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it was a very last minute decision this morning as I
Oh.
was heading out to northeast of Bathurst to work. And
Eddie actually thinks it's an offer. I thought it was more drafting.
They're called orders, aren't they?
Yes.
Hey, Chris, you were split 3 not that long ago.
don't you worry, we remind him of it all the time, Ed.
Oh, yeah. He knows where his roots are.
I do.
So anyway, on that note, I think we might wrap up the broadcast. So a big thank you to Chris, Josh, Mark and Reg and Ed for jumping in at the end. And yeah, look forward to next Friday night where we'll bring you 150 kilometres Winton. Should be really exciting.
Absolutely.
Exciting.
Plenty to talk about.
Yeah, so big thanks everybody. We'll see everybody again next week.
Next week.
Yep, we'll do. And thank you again, John.
Yep.
Thanks,
you,
John.
Thank you, John.
No worries, guys.
Thanks for putting that up.
The ever-changing weather around the world. Ever-diverse terrain and roads across the world. With Kumho Tire that has conquered all. There is no road you cannot go. Go with Kumho. Kumho Tire.